How much damage has this rookie season done to Caleb Williams' confidence and maybe the trajectory that he could be on? We're going to talk a little bit about that as we get words from Mike Greenberg and Troy Aikman on what the Bears season has done to Caleb Williams. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, we're going to dive into the mailbag because we did not get to do it the day after the game yesterday. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it for today. And so, listen, this season has been rough. It's been rough on Bears fans. It's been rough on Bears players. We've seen multiple coaches get fired. And overall, this is just not the season that you wanted after drafting a new quarterback and thus hopefully changing your direction. Now, because of the Bears front office and some of the limitations and, things that they did not go out and get that this team severely needed, it's put the Bears in a situation where, there's a lot of questions and doubt now around what the Chicago Bears franchise is going to do to right this ship. But one of the things that's garnering a lot of attention now over the last couple of days is what's going on with the Bears and how much they've impacted the development of Caleb Williams. And actually, we're going to have a clip right now that we're going to play for Mike Greenberg where he said this.
And the Chicago Bears, who have spent a century destroying quarterbacks, have now found the most talented one they've ever had and have done everything in their power. Remember a few years ago when John Mara said of his own quarterback, Daniel Jones, look, we've done everything possible to screw this guy up. Yeah. John Mara can say, at least we're not that. I mean, what the Bears did this year was they kept a coach they should never have kept. They fired their offensive coordinator who had no clue how to develop a young quarterback. They put in place someone who actually seemed to be getting it. And then after like 3 weeks of that, they fired the coach and elevated that one guy who seemed to have created some chemistry with Caleb Williams, so it was headed the right way. And they decided, you know what, you go deal with everything else. We won't worry about the only thing left that matters. They've lost 8 straight games. The quarterback is regressing. I'm not kidding.
It's like at every turn you ask them, what decision could you make to make this work out the least possible way? It's like they're like, yeah, let's take that one. Let's take the risky route.
And you can see, like, a century of destroying quarterbacks is a wild statement. But I get when, especially from the outside looking in, and even from internally as a Bears fan, when you look at it, you can understand what the thought process and the idea is behind it. Regardless of what it said, like the Bears did not put Caleb Williams in a position where he can thrive and he can, and that's not to say that Caleb hasn't made some mistakes. He's overthrown on passes. He's held on to the ball too long, which has gotten a nice amount of the sacks that he's gotten on over the course of the season. But overall, this Bears team did not provide the environment that made sense. And to Mike Greenberg's point, you had somebody in Shane Waldron who just did not know what to do with Caleb Williams. Like, it was just obvious. He did not know how to scheme. He did not know how to protect. He did not know how to do between the limitations of the offensive line and Caleb Williams. He did really not know how to use the quarterback in Caleb Williams. And again, that does not overlook the limitations and the mistakes that Caleb Williams has made. Then you have Thomas Brown, who Caleb Williams looks so much different under Thomas Brown's play calling. And then the one thing that made and I think it's evident now that kind of gave Thomas Brown the edge. Every coach has their thing that gives them their edge, right? Of being up there in the box. You took that away by putting him on the sideline as the head coach, and it just has not worked out the same way since. The offense has not looked the same since Thomas Brown got moved to the sideline, is now calling plays from the sideline. It just has not been the same since that is happening. And I get it where you said, like, the Bears made the choice of a guy, putting him in as the interim head coach after he built really good chemistry with Caleb Williams. And I can understand why they did that. Of course, everything is hindsight. But Mike Greenberg's firing of words here, it's all understandable. As a Bears fan, I can understand everywhere he's coming from with this. And then when you add into that Troy Aikman calling and saying that Caleb Williams looks defeated, right? And Troy Aikman, he even related it to himself. Troy Aikman said this: I was 0-11 as a starter, and Williams had a much better rookie season than I had. You mentioned when we watching him on the sidelines, he was grimacing and in an enormous amount of pain. And as I watch him, you can tell he's a defeated guy. I mentioned that he hasn't been through anything like this at any point of his career. And what you worry about is a rookie quarterback losing confidence. And that is not what we want. We do not want Caleb Williams to lose confidence. I get it. Not everybody is in on Caleb Williams as the Bears' future quarterback yet. And I understand that. I'm not saying everybody should be. I understand for a lot of Bears fans, it's going to come down to until they see the results that they think is indicative of what a franchise quarterback should be on the field. They're not going to be all bought in. I understand that. That's not what my job is. I'm not trying to sell you or say you should be all bought in. But when you look at it, 58 sacks so far this season. He's tied for the league lead in the amount of times he's been sacked. He's the third most sacked rookie in league history, only behind Bryce Young and David Carr. Bryce Young with 62, David Carr with 76. And there's 3 games left on this season, and there's a high chance that he's at least going to be number 2 in the all-time sacked rookie quarterback list. That's just what the reality of this is, right? You can tell that Caleb Williams' confidence is, and he's frustrated, and he should be, right? Because keep in mind, Caleb Williams came into this league talking about, like, he's already thinking about legacy. He's already thinking about, like, what he wants to accomplish in this league. And you come to a franchise, and even outside of your own performance, you come to a franchise that has looked inept, right? And that's not what you wanted. That's now, and listen, Caleb Williams is the quarterback. Like, we already know, Caleb Williams wants control over his future. And as the rookie years on that deal scale out, hey, the Bears are going to have to make sure that they have something around Caleb Williams where it's going to make sense for him to stay long-term. But we'll talk about that a different day. But even throughout all of this, right, and talking about all the turmoil, the sacks numbers, all those type of things, Caleb Williams is still making history, especially as a Bears or rookie quarterback when you look at it. The most consecutive losses for a starting quarterback without throwing an interception since the merger is what Caleb Williams has. 8 games. And Cody Kessler, 5 in 2016. Jeff George, 5 in 1993 and 94. Caleb Williams is right up there, right? We're not throwing interceptions. Now, I would say this. There is a little bit where it feels like Caleb Williams is trying to make sure he doesn't throw interceptions, which I think is affecting some of his decision-making personally. But that's what it comes down to. You look at it. He has set Bears rookie records for completions already at 288. Passing yards at 2,937, and touchdown passes with 17. He set those rookie records for Chicago Bears quarterbacks already. And it's not stopping, right? We still got 3 games left on the season. He's going to set and completely blow by every Bears rookie quarterback record. But that's only so much of an accomplishment, especially when you look at the fact that our rookie history at quarterback is not great at all. It's not like we came in with this story or even one great rookie quarterback season. No, Caleb Williams is setting the bar for all of that. And, it's something to be said that even throughout all of that, the Caleb Williams is still, performing, right? He has a quarterback rating on the season of 87.7. Also with 408 yards on the ground on top of that. So he already is over 3,300 yards from the line of scrimmage in his rookie year, with the chance of that being closer to 4,000 when it's all said and done by the end of the season. We got to see how this offense is going to perform. Hasn't always left the best taste in our mouths with the possibility of it. But that's why this offseason is so important for the Bears, because this is an offseason where you got it wrong. Period, point blank. Caleb Williams' rookie year, you got it wrong. From your decisions that you made, to the evaluation of the offensive line, to the evaluation and decision to keep Matt Eberflus, to bringing in Shane Waldron as the first offensive coordinator under Caleb Williams, you got all those decisions wrong, right? And now this is your offseason where you have an opportunity to get it right. And I can understand the Bears fans as well that are calling and saying, does Ryan Poles even deserve a chance to be the one to get this right? I understand that wholeheartedly. I can't knock anybody in that case for it right now. When it comes down to it, man, Ryan Poles got to be better. And even when you look at some of Ryan Poles, like when you look at how Ryan Poles talks so much about the depth that this offensive line had. And when you look at the performance of Kieran Amagaje as well, like as somebody who was a young offensive lineman that the Bears are trying to push us to be excited for, and you see his performance. It's been a lot of just failure all the way from top to bottom with this season. And this season needs to be a wake-up call to what the Bears to course correct their direction. If they can't, hey, we're going to be talking about the same thing that we talked about under Mitch, the same thing that we talked about under Fields, the same thing that we talked about under Cutler. It's going to be the same thing, the same story with different faces. And that's what the Bears that's what this whole new regime was supposed to change, right? Is it being the same story year after year for the Chicago Bears team? And all of when you're looking at it and evaluating it right now, hey, listen, listen, I'm seeing the same shit. I'm seeing the same shit. And so that's why this is so important for the Bears to find a way to turn this thing around. They got to find a way to turn this thing around. I don't give a damn about the stadium. I don't give a damn about the McCaskies. I don't give a damn about nothing else. I give a damn about you putting a product on that football field, in Soldier Field, where people can be proud of what the Bears are doing. I've said it before, and I may be leading the charge when it comes to that. I'm tired. I can't afford to get excited about another Bears season until you prove some shit to me, right? And to this fan base. You talk so often about what this fan base in the city, it's the same shit with the Bulls. Maybe that's why I say Bulls so much and I mix it up sometimes on this show, because it's the same fucking shit. The franchises are both ran and owned by two old white families, which is, it's going to happen in every major sport, that is so out of touch with what needs to be done. They brought in new front offices that were supposed to bring something exciting in AK and Ryan Poles, and it's been the same fucking shit. I'm sorry for cursing. I'm tired of it being the same. I'm tired of us being a team that has talent on paper, but the result on the football field is god-awful and shitty. I'm tired of it. And I know you guys are tired of it too. I hear from you guys every single day who are just tired of it. So whether if it's Brian Flores, whether than it's Ben Johnson, whether than it's whoever it is, I don't care. Get the right people in the building. Have the right evaluation of what you need to bring in and how you need to address shit this offseason. This is an important, every offseason is important. Make no mistake about it. But this is a really important offseason because after the disappointment of this season, if you have another season of this level of disappointment, everybody's head needs to roll. I wore the fire everybody shirt about a week or two ago. It's going to be things that I wear for a whole season. If we have another year like this year, we cannot afford to have there are 3 games left, and there's nothing that the Bears are fighting for other than pride. With 3 games left in the season, I would love to be talking about a team that is at least competing for a wild card spot. But no, because of the disappointment, the mismanagement, and all the other things, we just sitting here left already looking towards the draft with a month left in the season. It's disappointing, to say the least. But all right, I want to hear from a couple of you guys because we didn't get to do it as we usually do the day after football games. Let's go ahead and get into this first one. This one's from Fred.
Hey, it's be your boy Fred, man. Phone got cut off, man. I didn't mean to leave that short voicemail, but yeah, man, watching that game a little bit Monday night, I just had to turn it off because I'm not going to let them get me frustrated. And then what is it that we ain't said already about the Bears, man? The defense was playing. They had a chance to get back in the game, possibly win. But, you had Caleb overthrowing his receivers and everything, doing these mistakes. At first, they weren't even getting, I was looking like, damn, they get hit twice for penalties. Next thing you know, penalties start coming nowhere. It's the mistakes they got to stop making, man. Because this offseason, Ryan Poles got to go hard, man. He has to. He got to stop being cheap. He got to stop being scared. And he got to build a team if he calls us up want to keep his job. Because I'm like, it's crazy. And then we've been saying, hey, so long, me and you not both are saying, why don't they move DeMarcus Walker to the deep tackle? You notice they put him inside, they was getting more pressure with Walker inside. It's like the Bears know when somebody fits some, they always wait till the last minute or towards the end of the season, they want to try some things. Hell, why not let the boy Austin Booker play on the other side of the defensive end if you want to know what he can do? He could possibly be that edge rusher we need to play on the opposite side of Sweat. But we won't know that because they keep him on the sideline. And I'd like to know what's going on with Tyler Scott, man, because we haven't seen this man touch the field since preseason. The only time we see him is on the sideline when he's suited up, but he's never playing. Something is weird about that, man, because I ain't feeling that. And they say him and Caleb had good chemistry doing camp, though. But overall, man, this team got to get their shit together, man. Plain and simple. That's all I can say. Hopefully, the Bears do actually get the right coach this time to come in and change this culture, change this team mentality, get rid of this losing mentality, because us fans, we tired of going through this, man. It ain't fair. We tired of going through with all the Chicago teams. And we at some point, we just got to put our foot down and just stop, buying Bears gear. Well, I know you still got to buy it because you do your show and you a fan, and I get that. But sometimes the fan, though, big dog, we got to hit some owners in their pockets where it hurt at. So either that or somebody going to, do they damn job right, man. Bottom line, plain and simple. And George McCaskey should feel real fucking bad for, knocking his team out of playoff contention by not firing Eberflus, though. But, I mean, Eberflus no longer here, though, so it is what it is, man. At this point, all I can do is look forward to the offseason, man, because this losing streak going to continue to, continue. And we might as well be looking at the pick either in the top 10 or top 5 of the draft, man, because this is sad, man. It's like we can't continue to do a rebuild, and ain't no way this team we get.
Listen, I can't blame you turning off the game on Monday night. That's something that I don't have the luxury to do anymore now that I cover the team for a living. But, yeah, it was disappointing. And I think that what you said there as far as Ryan Poles has to go all out, he does. You can't make the cheap moves. You can't make the safe moves. You can't do any of that. You have to go out there and improve this offensive line drastically is what you have to do. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to go out there and make some fucking moves, my boy. There's no excuses for it anymore, Poles. You got to go out there and find a way to do it. Can he? Will he? That's the story that we'll see over the course of the season. But he has to have a better evaluation. He has to just have a better result. Ryan Poles' job is on the line. Make no mistake about it. And it's time for him to show up and show out and give us the team that he claims that he's been wanting to give us for years. Now, as far as Walker's been rotating in and out at defensive tackle all season, brother. Now, if you want to see him just stay at defensive tackle, I don't think we really have the roster to do that quite yet. Now, if we add another pass rusher this offseason, maybe. I like Walker, especially as a pass rusher. At defensive tackle. He's better in the run game on the edge, but I think that the versatility that DeMarcus Walker has is what makes him so special, and that's why I really love to see him stay on the Chicago Bears team long term. So yeah, I think that. And as far as Austin Booker, his snaps has gone up all season long. I mean, he is a rookie. He came in raw. We didn't really expect to see a lot of him, but to see that jump, if he can make that jump that Javon Dexter did at the beginning of the season before the season started going off from year 1 to year 2, I think that could be really good for the team. And Tyler Scott, I mean, we all got the question on why Tyler Scott. Like, I understand Tyler Scott not being a huge part of your offense, considering the 3 players that you have as your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3. But he should be getting out there in some time and get some type of opportunity. But maybe he's just not bringing it in practice. I don't know what's there, what he's not showing in practice to be able to get on the football field. But, hopefully, especially because it doesn't look like we're going to keep Keenan Allen unless he takes a team-friendly deal. Hopefully we see more of him and he actually plays well as well. But thank you for leaving that voicemail, Fred. Let's get into this next one. This one's from Keys.
Yo, what's up, man? It's Keys. Hope you guys are enjoying this Tuesday, just like I am. But let's get it going, man. Last night's game was truly a microcosm of the season. We were down, I think it was 13-3, and Doug Kramer just goes in, he does what he normally routinely does, and we score a touchdown, but he forgot to report. It's like the whole season has been we make 2 steps forward to make 10 steps back. And that's basically what it's been. We dare to make a play, and we're there in the spots to make plays, but it just doesn't happen for us the way it should. That was a baptism by fire for Karan Amagaji, however you say his last name. And do I feel bad for him? Hell no, because you're a pro, and you making your money, and you're doing what you need to do to be a pro. And in the line of fire, you're supposed to step up, and when your name is called, do your job. And essentially, that reverts back to Poles. Now, everybody on Poles' head about who he drafted and what he got, and then even the emotions that Caleb displayed last night, but Poles has done some good things, and he's done some bad things. No different than anybody else that's been a GM for a team. And I think he knows him drafting Caleb not only saved his job, but gave him an extra year. And I hope that they let him do his job to his full capability so that he can draft that left tackle in Kelvin Banks Jr. or Will Campbell, who can protect and not get beat on one move of a pass rush. Now, I know it's elite pass rushers in the league and everything like that, but, bro, that's basic one-on-one. You're a fucking pro. You should know how to slide your feet and protect your quarterback. You're his blind side. This is what you were drafted to do. It's like watching Braxton Jones all over again. So that first pick got to be the left tackle. It's got to be somebody that can come in and protect. So defense, they kept running that zone coverage, and it just kept getting annihilated in the middle of the field. And, they did play with a sense of pride. They played a little bit better than what I expected, but overall, we just got to get it right, and we got to get the right coach. But let me know what you think. As always, Chi-Town up, bear down.
Yeah, the Doug Kramer experiment at fullback has to end. And if you are telling me that the best position that you found for Doug Kramer is at fullback and not on the offensive line, he doesn't need to be on this roster. And I'm saying if that's the case. Now, if he can play center, if he can play some offensive linemen and bring something that you need, cool, great. But if you're telling me that the best position that we have in the best place that Doug Kramer has to help this football team is at fullback, the experiment's done. He's done. He got to go. That's just what it comes down to. He has to go. He has to go. And I agree with you as well. Like, Poles has done way more good than what some Bears fans like. And I get it. We're upset right now. The Bears are losing in historic fashion. It's bad, and it's easy to just look at everything. But he's done more good than bad. That's just my personal opinion. But the bad that he's done has severely limited this team, and he got to get his shit together too. But his job is definitely on the line. Make no mistake about it. Ryan Poles' job is on the line. And this is, if he does get an opportunity to try to fix those mistakes this offseason, that's his last chance to do it. He better goddamn well get it. And as far as Karen Amagaje, huge disappointment. I mean, so far now, it's rookie. We've seen players have disappointing rookie years and be able to turn it around in the NFL. And maybe Kieran's going to be that guy. But so far, this rookie year has left a lot to be desired from Karen Amagaje, and he just has to be better. He has to be better if he wants a role on this Bears team. Keep in mind, when he was initially drafted, it was talked about him being a future starter. I don't see that. Like you said, I see Braxton Jones all over again, and that's not what I want to see. All right, let's get into the last voicemail for today. This one's from our boy Darius.
What's going on, gentlemen? Darius from Dallas here, man. I tried to hold off on it. But hey, man, I think it's time for us to start talking about this draft pick. We got to get another left tackle. Amagaje talking about he won't get touched. Well, that motherfucker got touched about 7 times last night. So we got to get another left tackle. And hey, man, I know y'all won't talk about this right now, but we go ahead and just take the rest of the season out, cross our fingers, hope that there's a Lovie Smith with one of these other 4 or 5 teams, and maybe they win one, and maybe we get up to that top 2 or 3, man, and we get to have the conversation all over again. We get to have that Marvin Harrison conversation about how if we got that pick and he's available, we absolutely got to go get Travis Hunter. And I can sit up here and talk about how we're going to trade back, So, unfortunately, fellas, we got to go ahead and lick our wounds this season. But if we can find out some sort of way, to get back in that top 5, let alone if we get lucky enough to land in the top 2 or 3 and get to trade out of it, I don't want to hear nothing from anybody other than the Browns and the Raiders. We got to get a pass rusher, guys. We're not generating pass rush at all. And this offensive line is just definitely the worst in the league. And my question is, why is Chris Morgan still with this organization? Why does he get to have the worst offensive line in the league year in and year out and still keep his job? Like, is he in with the McCaskies or something? Did he see one of them catch a body? Well, what's going on? He's got some sort of leverage on them, man, to where he's just fucking immune, I guess. I also did not like the defensive play calling. I just didn't like it, man. I feel like we can do better than that. I don't think it's a good idea for us to solely just focus on, let's get an offensive guy in here thinking that because this guy knows offense that he's going to be able to lead a team. But I won't go down that rabbit hole. You already know how I feel about it. If y'all want to bring the next Matt Nagy in here, let me go ahead. Well, I'll just be here to say I told you so. But I think we need to get a guy in here, man, or at least a defensive coordinator that can tighten things up. I don't know if it's because the defense has quit or if they're just not buying into the scheme. But we're not the same defense that we were the first 5 weeks of the year. So, we don't have as many holes as we think going into this next draft because we do have the talent, thank God. We just need to get this offensive line fixed and get a pass rusher by any means. And I mean by any means. But let me know what y'all think about that, man. And, Texas up, bear down.
I don't think the pass rusher is going to be as much of a focus. Now, I do think that if we could get another pass rusher. I do think that, like, if the Bears do lose out the rest of the way these next 3 games and they do end up picking in the top 5, yeah, I mean, listen, there are some offensive linemen I think would absolutely be worth drafting in the top 5. Make no mistake about it. And I think that with the place this offensive line is, you may want to take the guarantee there than trading back and getting that, because Ryan Poles has done that, and where's that gotten us? But if he can trade back, get more picks, and get an edge rusher and keep shoring up that offensive line, great, do that. But I would say this, if the Bears do draft in the top 5, I'd be more interested in them trading back with one of their seconds and just taking the blue chip talent there in the top 5 personally. But it depends on how the draft's going, where the mocks have you, who's in, who's out, those type of things. But, Ryan Poles is he's shown it. He has a propensity to will and deal, and we'll see if he does that again. But I do think that, as we shift our focus towards the draft again here with 3 games left to be played, It just shows again how the failure of this season happened. And we can't have this again. We can't have it again. And we'll see where it leads us. But thank you, Darius, for leaving that voicemail. Thank everybody for leaving voicemails. You know, we'll have the full mailbag episode on Friday. So if I didn't get to your voicemail, we will get to it over the weekend. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. That's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.